Alright, we're doing front brake pads on this 05-06 Acura RSX. It's going to be the same for any year of RSX. Once you have the car securely on a jack stand, you want to loosen your lug nuts first before you take the weight off, which I've already done. Get it securely up on the jack stand. Take your wheel off. Now mine's already nice and loose, but if they stick, you come around the back side here with like a 4x4 chunk of wood and a mini sledge and hit around the outside of the rim of the wheel there, not on the sidewall of the tire as much as you can avoid it. Come all over. You might have to put it in neutral so you can spin the tire and get all angles of it, and you just kind of work it off till it comes off. But mine's coming right off, so we get that out of the way. And then basically to change the pads, we just need to take the caliper off here. So you have two bolts for that. You have one on top here and then a matching one on the bottom, which for me is 12mm. Once you get two bolts out, then you can start to pry your caliper off here like so. You want to be careful, don't let it drop. There's another angle back here I can get it from, but you guys seen it move there. I'm going to kind of need two hands to do this. Pry it off, but I got this brick back here because you don't want to let it hang from this brake hose. You could damage the brake hose internally and then your brakes will stick. So don't let it fall, and you don't want to let it hang from that. Have something back there to set it up on. So almost got this off, just need to finish prying it off. We got our caliper off there, then the pads will just slide out this way on the front one and on the opposite on the back. They just kind of come through there with where your hardware is there. You just come on the back side, get a nice thin little flathead screwdriver like there. You might have to kind of tap it in with a hammer to get it between the pad and the rotor here to get these started and pry them out. And yeah, I know my rotor is looking crappy. I'm going to have a full feature. We're going to do all new brakes and rotors coming up later this year. But for now, I just need to throw these cheap pads on here so we can keep driving this for the next few, I don't know, a month or two, until I can scrap together the funds to get all new pads and rotors front and rear. So I'll have that coming up. Real nice, huh? These do need replaced. I would fully recommend replacing them. They look like crap like this. Like I said, budget's just a little tight for me right now, so just for the time being, kind of, I don't want to say emergency, but just so we can have this thing on the road for the next month or two until we can afford all new pads and rotors, all four corners. Just go ahead and do in the pads today. So now at this point, you could get this hardware out and all that if you're installing new hardware like I am, which is going to help, especially if you're putting all nice stuff on and got a nice rotor, or you're doing a new rotor or anything like that. Get nice clean hardware in there, get them lubed up and all that, that way everything's working nice. But as you can see there, you can pop them off real easy like that, but I find it easier just to go ahead and take this caliper bracket off. It's a lot easier getting those things back on that way, plus lubing them up and whatnot. So let me go ahead and pull that off and show you guys that. Got the bolts out. Before that fell, I was going to say, good idea, pay attention to how your pads go on and off. Screenshot it if you have to. Same thing with that. You can get them mixed up and be like, wait, which way does this go? So just pay attention how everything goes in, comes out. Same thing with your little retaining clips there. Now if you're doing the rotor also, obviously take the caliper bracket off to get it out of the way so you can take your rotor off. Now on these freaking Hondas and Acuras here, see those two little screws that you can barely see because of all the corrosion? You're going to want to use an impact screwdriver to get those out. Then your rotor come off, but no doubt it'll be seized up on here, so you're going to have to beat around on the edge of it with a mini sledge until you can break it free and actually get that off of there. Make sure you don't hit your wheel studs here, mess up the threads, or you won't be able to get your lug nut back on. Now for maximum longevity and to make sure your brakes work as good as possible, and so your brakes work as long as possible and properly and all that, these little slider pins in here, you can see this one's fully compressed. See how this one's sticking out further? These are supposed to return. So you see that's moving a little bit, and well, that one's pretty stiff. So these are pretty bone dry in here. There's supposed to be a good amount of lube in there, so good idea to pull these out, get those good and lubed up. And they got those little rubber boots on there, so you got to be careful to, when you pull the pin, it's going to want to pull that out, or it could rip the boot, because a lot of times these boots, the rubber melts to the metal. So be careful in prying that off so that you can pull the pin out. And I like to try to hold the boot down there, and this is impossible to do while recording. Hold the boot down while I pull the pin out with the other hand, that way the boot stays there. Okay, there's your pins there, and you see all that rust and crap where that boot was sitting. You want to clean these off real good. You don't want any dirt, grime, dust, rust particles down in there. And a lot of times, yeah, you see all that dump out? You have all those rust particles and stuff in the boot. So flick that upside down, give them a few flicks to get that crap out before we're going to very generously lube these up with more grease, slide them back in, and then they should go squishy, squishy, sponge, sponge for us and work properly. Or at least it's going to be a heck of an improvement from where we're starting here, because these are pretty tacky and dried up. Here, I got those all lubed up with my grease there, and you should get a little spring back. This one's like, I think it's leaking air. I had it springing back real good, and now it's like, thinking about it, you can see it a little bit there. So it's springing back. Even if they don't spring back, if they got little hairline cracks in the boots, they're probably not going to spring back because you get an air pocket stuck in there. Actually, the air staying in there is what allows them to spring back. If it leaks out, it won't spring. But as long as you can move them back slick and freely, they're good to go. So there's new hardware installed. You got all these little tabs, especially down in the center there. You got to make sure you get pressed in and don't accidentally have it a millimeter too far left or right or whatever and get them bent. So just take your time, make sure everything's clear, shove it all in there. Sometimes these will snap in place real nice and stay there, and then other times they'll just kind of loose fit and want to fall out on you constantly. These ones are kind of in between. I'm going to highlight in the video where you can lube these very lightly. You don't want gobs of lube, just a very light film. Let me get a good angle here, so if I can get a freaking focus. So basically these three contact points where the ear of the pad will contact the bracket here, which I will show you in just a second in the video. Of course, right above it on the other section where the other top of the pad will contact this, and on the bottom / other end as well. So okay, so I got a screenshot from there. So basically anywhere that these ears on the pads are going to contact, that's where you want to put just a very light film. And then I'm going to do the same on the new pads on the ears of those as well. You don't want even a gob like that on the back side of where your pad's going to sit, because you don't want it coming off and getting on your rotor there, because that's not good. And it's not something you absolutely have to do, but again, it's for best performance and longevity. Just a slight film of grease in there will let those pads slip back and forth on that super slick metal nice and freely, so your brakes will work great. Then also, as you can see by these old ones, those do eventually rust, and then with your rusty pad ears, it's going to go, you know, want to grind and not move freely. So if you get a little bit of lube there on the contact patches where they move back and forth, it'll keep it from rusting for longer. So again, it'll keep it working smoothly. Also, in case yours comes with tabs like this, I don't know if they're supposed to have that, like from the factory. These ones did not have those, but those little tabs will basically just kind of help hold the pads in place while you're reinstalling all of this. So you'll kind of have to bend those back out of the way to pop your pad down in there. Alright, so if I can find a torque spec for that caliper bracket there, the two big bolts that hold it on the back, I'll throw it on the screen now. But basically, to get those fairly snug, you ain't got to like hulk them on as tight as you absolutely can, but those ones you do want to put on pretty snugly. And the pads, by the way, if you notice this guy here, well, first let me show you this. See, I got a little bit of grease on the pad there. So if you get any grease on your rotor or on the pad, you're going to want to clean it off with brake parts cleaner and a rag, so I'll take care of that. But actually, this little tang here I wanted to show you. Some kits, all of them have it. Other kits, only one of them has it for each side. That's your squealer, so it's your brake wear indicator. So you can see there, that will contact the rotor just before you're completely out of pad. You always want to put those on the back where the piston comes out, because that's usually where the most force is, which will wear that side faster than this side. So basically, once that squealer starts to contact, you hear it making like that brake squealing sound, and that's what lets you know, hey, you're practically out of pad and you need new brake pads before you destroy the rotor like this one is. So I already got the back side in. It's a lot easier to show you guys on the front side. I already have my very light amount on the ears there, which will also help it slide in more easily. But you can see I don't have any big chunks ready to fly off on the rotor there. So like I said, I'm going to have to kind of pull this tab back to feed that ear down first. Let me get my camera stand. And the shorter side goes against this. Your wider side here goes on the outside of the rotor. So I'm going to pull this little tab back, get it started there. I'm going to push down with some pressure to make sure it's snapped all the way down there. And then I'm going to align the top here perfectly in between those tabs, and then push it in. Maybe. Sometimes clearances aren't the best, but if you're stuck like that, double check to make sure that hardware is not getting in the way and it's pried out so it'll fit. But sometimes you just got to tap them in. Alright, there we go. Now that you have new, thicker brake pads, you're going to need to push this piston in to get clearance to get that back over the newer, thicker pads. So we're going to have to get our C-clamp on there, press that in, put an old brake pad up there to assist you with that. So you basically have it set up like that. Again, be careful not to pinch that line. Turn your handle there, press your piston in. It should give you a little bit of resistance, but it should go in no issue. If it fights you and you're having to crank on that thing really freaking hard to get that in there, then either your caliper itself is seasoned and you need to replace the caliper, or you have a break internally in your brake hose there and the brake hose needs replaced. One of those two issues will cause this piston to be extremely tough to get pushed back in there, so shouldn't be too difficult to get that back in there with a big C-clamp. Alright, so I got my piston all the way down, no problem. Now we'll slide it over the pads, but these guys, because they sponge out on you, you probably have to depress those a little bit to get them behind the ears there. Okay, and then again, if I can find the torque spec, I'll throw it on the screen now for you, but these you just lightly tighten down. Not like super light, but just a nice little light snug on those. Alright, once you get your wheel back on, torque down, make sure you follow a crisscross pattern. Don't go one bolt after the other in a circle. Do a crisscross pattern so it doesn't go on crooked. Drop the car. I'll do that in a second. One more step. And yes, this thing's a beater. Just drive this down muddy dirt roads. What you're going to do, start it. These newer cars have a system that the brake goes to the floor, which this will right now because we compressed that piston back in for clearance. It might lock out the front brakes thinking that you blew a brake line. So you just want to press it no more than halfway down, preferably a little less. Nice and slow a couple times. Like so. Till you feel the pedal firm up, which I just did there, and then you're good to go.